The young and competent ninja of Konoha Village come together to form their very own ghost-busting team, as they split off into groups to capture the user of the mysterious Ghost Chakra, which is just as mysterious in this episode as it was the last, but we're finally getting to see a culprit, one who seems like they are seemingly from the Anbu Foundation. Or are they? The best thing about the brand new Boruto anime series is that it's not based on a manga. Yes, it is based on an ongoing manga series, but it's actually telling its very own original story, and that makes it so that every single week we never really know what's going to happen. Case in point, this brand new storyline right here, which is insinuating the fact that there's some sort of evil organization which is fueling this ancient beast which goes by the name of a Nue. This is something which has been theorized by many Naruto and Boruto fans over the course of the last couple of weeks, especially when we got our very first glimpses of what this weird, freaky creature was, the one that was summoned by Naruto. A Nue, of course, is a chimera beast, which has the face of a monkey, the body of a raccoon dog, the claws of a tiger, and a massive tail, which is actually a gigantic snake. And apparently it's going to be integral to whatever this evil team's plan is, and they're going to unleash its power upon Konoha Village. We even get a better look at this Nue creature in this episode, which is still shrouded in shadow, but we definitely get to see more of its form, and I can't wait to see it in action. In fact, I would say that's probably my favorite thing about this arc, is that they're expanding a little bit more on the summoned creatures, the monsters, the mythological beasts of the Naruto series, which are really what I think one of the more unique things about the entire series overall, and something that always tends to get glossed over. You always have to remember that there are humans who live in this world, but they're also living alongside all of these really insane creatures. Of course, this was a focal point of the original Naruto series, what with the Ten Tails, and that resulting in the origins of the tailed beasts themselves, and even in some of the movies and spin-offs, we got to see a number of really crazy creatures, not to mention all of the summons from the show. So for them to actually make that like another important part of this story, I honestly think is really damned intriguing. I want to learn a little bit more about the other world of Naruto, where all of these creatures do reside, and the Nue might actually be some sort of connection to that. As for who the actual user is who is controlling this Ghost Chakra, it's still a complete mystery. It's heavily insinuated, of course, if they are a member of Anbu or a former member of the Foundation. There's this one ninja who is wearing this white cloak and wearing this Anbu-like mask with these horns on it, who does have the ability to manipulate this Ghost Chakra. We don't even really get to see their skin. It's all wrapped up in bandages, making them look like a mummy. And it's really hard to tell who this person is or who they're actually connected to. I have a couple of personal theories myself, but we will get to those later. The story for this week's episode is basically just an exact continuation of last week's episode, with Boruto and his friends desperately trying to find all of the ghosts and see how these events are tied to his weird, freaky eye, although he realizes that he's sort of in over his head on this one, especially when he realizes that he's still going to be working with his male group, and he's going to need more help, and that's when all of his friends come together, which honestly is pretty damn awesome. We get to see Chocho, we get to see Iwabe, we even get to see Denki, who does some surprisingly cool stuff in this episode right here, although I have to say that I'm kind of pissed off at Naruto's attitude in this episode, where he's telling his son not to get involved in any of the investigation, that it's up to the adults to take care of this type of stuff, and I do understand where he's coming from. He is trying to act as a father, but this isn't something the original Naruto would do. Naruto's whole career was based around him meddling in other people's affairs, even as a young child. So maybe he just doesn't want Boruto to turn out the way he did, or make him go through sort of the same experiences. But it doesn't matter, because his advice falls on deaf ears, because Boruto and his friends are just going to do what they want. And luckily, they get a little bit of backup from Shino in this episode. Naruto actually decides, you know what? I'm going to allow him to do this. Do your thing. Continue to do this whole work experience thing. Everything's going to work out. Speaking of which, they immediately pick up from the story of last week's episode, where Sumire was at that water purification plant with her and her other friends, and she was seemingly attacked. Apparently, she's fine. She's just in the hospital right now, and I don't know why, but I have a feeling that she might even be possibly connected to this whole Nue thing as well. She could very well be this mysterious person who is in the mask. I'm not sure why she would be going about doing things this way, but it's really strange. Not to mention, there is a scene at the very end of the episode where when we see this character for the first time, Boruto and his friends run into him, they try to stop him, he makes a quick escape and runs away from the other ninja, and he ends up in the sewers of Konoha Village, where he's confronted by Mitsuki, of all people, and Mitsuki just lets him go. Just like that. And it's almost as if he knows who this person is, or he's working directly with him. Maybe this is all just some sort of weird test to actually test out Boruto, because Mitsuki has made it painfully clear in some of the previous episodes that he has some sort of connection with Boruto, with him being his son, maybe the son to his moon. It's all just a big mystery at this point, and honestly, I think that's maybe the strongest element of this arc right here. That being said, like I said, this episode was basically just a glorified rehash of last week's episode with some minor new elements. That would be being the introduction of this ninja who has the power to control this dark chakra and even influence it on people. Case in point, the bureau chief of Konoha Village's post office, who goes by the name of Komame, he actually gets taken over, and he uses his male ninja powers to actually fight against them, where he takes like all of the mail that's in the post office and is able to turn it into this like giant torrent of twisters and tornadoes. It's kind of reminiscent of Conan from the Akatsuki, to be perfectly honest, just not as devastatingly powerful at all. And I have to say, the mailmen in Konoha Village are incredibly dedicated. There's a great scene where one of the mailmen decides to jump on this box as it's getting cut up by all of these letters, and it's so damn cheesy how dedicated he is to actually delivering this mail. It's just a scene that, honestly, I couldn't take all that seriously, and I found myself laughing at quite a bit. Luckily, it was all backed up by all of these really cool scenes with this brand new mysterious ninja who can conjure this dark and ghostly chakra for whatever reason, aside from just summoning some sort of massive destructive beast known as the New Way, and it's going to have some sort of connection to the Hashirama cells. It's just a mess, but I really can't wait to see how it's all going to wrap up. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations? Another decent episode. I didn't really care for the first half all that much, which was basically just picking up on what happened to Sumire. I was hoping we'd get to see a little more of what actually happened there, and since it's so mysterious and they're not letting us see those events, that's why I'm so curious to see if she has some sort of connection to the New Way, or at least the summoning of the New Way, the weird chimera beast. The rest of the episode, though, in the first half is basically just dedicated to Naruto telling his son not to get involved, bringing a lot of tension between these two characters yet again. There's even a small cameo from Chakra, who is working again as a medical ninja in this episode. It was just great to see her again, personally. But the second half of the episode was basically just more of the same, of just delivering mail and then bringing in all of the other characters, which admittedly was really cool. I love the fact that Boruto does get along with all of his friends, and there's really a great sense of camaraderie amongst all of these characters, even the ones who initially didn't really even seem all that powerful at first. When they were actually all fighting back against Komame, who was being controlled, they all really did some cool things, with Iwabe using his signature Earth-style attacks to sort of block all of the mail from smacking into them, and even Denki, who managed to use some pretty kick-ass shuriken skills in this episode. It just looked really awesome, and it's great to see them all work together. I also love that they're continuing to do a great job of letting us know that despite the fact that these characters look a lot like their parents, they're nothing like them, especially Metal Lee, who looks so much like Rock Lee in just about every single sense, but he's the exact opposite in terms of character, and for the most part, he is played for laughs. But like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I really do like that he is different, and I can't wait to see more growth from him. Cho-Cho was also really funny in this episode when she was chasing after the ninja, just being completely freaking out of breath by the end of the episode. It was pretty damn hilarious. It reminded me of that old Adam Sandler skit, Fatty McGee. If you don't know what Fatty McGee is, look it up on YouTube. That's right, I'm actually recommending something from Adam Sandler. I have to admit, I think his older stuff was funny. He gets a bad rap nowadays, despite the fact that he makes a lot of crappy stuff. But that's a discussion for another video. This is all about this week's episode of Boruto, which honestly, I thought was pretty damn solid, adding a lot of mystery to this new story, introducing a brand new villain to the series who could be someone that we know. And then, of course, there's that connection to Mitsuki, which just, I don't even really know where this is going. I mean, Mitsuki's introduction in the series was always pretty mysterious from the beginning. It's very clear that he is working with Orochimaru in some capacity, whether he's there just to be an observer or not. It's kind of hard to tell, especially with his involvement to this whole weird, dark ghost Chakra. He genuinely seems to want to help out, but at the same time, it's hard to read him because he's always got this like weird smile on his face, and he seems to be content with just about anything that is thrown his way, and that honestly makes him one of the most intriguing characters of the series, and it's the reason why so far he's my favorite character from this spin-off of the Naruto series. I can't wait to see how all of this is going to wrap up. I'm sure it's going to be very exciting, and I hope it leads to seeing more crazy monsters and summons in the future. It'll do a great job of sort of differentiating this part of Boruto when compared to the first half of the series, with a lot more summons, a lot more mythological beasts taken from Japan's lore, and I think that's really a good thing. And it was a pretty solid-looking episode, too. Nothing too groundbreaking or anything, but for the most part, really good colors, really good animation, and still pretty damn decent character design, which is really all anime fans really want at the end of the day. So, a pretty entertaining episode. Like I said, the first half was a little slow, but honestly, I liked it, so I'm going to give this episode a 4 out of 5. I can't wait to see how the mystery of the New A is going to be wrapped up, but I'd love to hear your thoughts about the episode, and you can tell me in the comments section below. What are your theories as to what this whole New A thing is all about and what it is leading to? Who is the mysterious masked ninja? Is it a brand new character, someone that we've seen before? Does it have connections to Mitsuki or even Sumire for all we know? And what do you hope to see from the rest of this brand new story arc of Boruto and more as we head into the future of this Naruto anime spin-off? Thank you guys for watching this review. Make sure, again, leave me a comment telling me what you thought about the episode, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. If you have any questions for me personally, I'm always down for a good conversation. And, of course, if you liked the video, make sure to throw your shurikens right down to that like button. It would really help us out a lot. But if for some odd reason you didn't like this video, give it a thumbs down. I'll see you guys next time. And, as always, stay damn down, baby.